Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining today. Here's my 1996 made in Japan Stratocaster. I want to do a quick video and just a short review to show you guys some specs on this and get a quick look. So this is a really cool guitar. This is a Daphne blue finish. The lighting might make it look like a Sonic blue or a seafoam green or whatever. Those are all really close, but this is Daphne blue. And this is a vintage spec Stratocaster. So you'll notice it's got the 8-hole pick guard with a single ply pick guard. So it's thinner and there's the less screw holes. That's one way to tell a vintage style pick guard on a Stratocaster. It's got the truss rod located at the heel of the neck as opposed to newer guitars or newer Strats where they're up top here. So yeah, Daphne blue, maple neck, vintage Kluson style tuners. These are the ones you poke the string down, wrap it around. Pretty simple, but they are effective in work. I had this guitar refretted when I first bought it because it had these skinny little frets on it and they were real nasty. So I ended up buying these are 6105 Jescar fret wires. And that made a world of difference. It got a new nut and it played a lot better right off the bat. And the truss rod, when I first got the guitar, it was pretty out of whack, so we had to get the neck back to straight and refret and do the whole setup, and you guys know the deal. But it's got some nice age on it for being a 29-year-old guitar. But other than that, it's pretty much your standard vintage style Stratocaster. We'll flip it over to the back and take a quick look. Alright, we got the Stratocaster flipped over to take a look at the back. We'll start here and take a look at your strap buttons. Nothing real special there. Strap locks would probably be a nice touch on this guitar, but they do work. Alright, we'll take a look at the tremolo cavity here. I got this one hardtailed. I personally don't really use tremolos a whole lot, so I got this spring claw tightened right down, and those springs pull that trem block right into the body there, so no movement out of your bridge with that. But some people say that having that tremolo block tight to the body allows more resonance, more vibration when you're playing. I don't know if it does or doesn't, but that's how I like to run my Strats. So taking a look, we got our typical 4-bolt neck. There's no numbers or anything on it like an old vintage Strat, but you'll see down here is our made in Japan stamp and also our serial number. Moving up the neck, here's a better look at our vintage style tuners. And fun fact, the little holes on the back there, those guys, you can actually put a little lubricating oil into these tuners to get the gears moving. Sometimes after a while they can use a little lubrication to function properly. They can get a little gummed up on the inside and you'll feel like tension, or either the tuner feels loose when you're trying to tighten it or it'll feel real hard, and a lot of times just a little shot of oil down there can do the trick. But if it doesn't, you're probably looking at replacing tuners. But fun fact, this is a 50th year anniversary guitar. In 1996, I'm pretty sure they did this on almost every guitar, maybe other than custom shop stuff, but yeah, it was 1946 to 96, so they did a 50-year little emblem there, or whatever you want to call it, but it's a quick way to identify a 96. You'll see those. For the 60th year in 2006, they did like a American flag on the front side of the headstock, and it said like 60th anniversary. I don't think it looked as good, but this is kind of a nice touch on this one. So our neck profile is a V neck. If you've never played one, I would suggest maybe trying one first. When I first got this guitar, I'd never played a V neck, and it was different. It took a little bit of adjusting. You know, it comes up, it's got pretty rounded shoulders, but then it comes up to a, I don't know how else to put it other than like a plateau. I mean, you really feel the V when you run your hand up and down. Don't get me wrong, it's a comfortable neck, but it's not, I don't know how desirable that spec is, but you learn to live with it, with this stuff. So this neck had a gloss finish, which you can see here, it's all shiny. I hate those finishes. When you get sweaty when you're playing and your hands sweat, these turn super sticky and they just slow you down. You can't move as fast. So what I did was I took that that lacquer finish or that urethane or whatever they use to give it that sticky finish. I took a piece of tape here and a piece of tape at the heel, masked that off, and then a Scotch-Brite pad, and just did a couple passes over, and I took that gloss finish off, and now it's like a real smooth satin. Like the way it feels a lot better, and I can retain my speed with it. So other than that, that's the back of the guitar. She's got a couple little dings in her. You can see there's a crack where the neck plate was tightened a little bit too much, and then you have a hairline crack coming out of there too, or a finish check. She's 29 years old. She's going to have a couple dings, but yeah, guys, thanks for watching this short video. If you want to see a longer one where we really get into the nitty-gritty and, you know, go tear the pick guard off and get into the specs and stuff, we can do that. Drop a comment down below and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to start ramping videos back up now that we're getting into fall and winter and I got more time on my hands. So that's the plan, at least I think that's what my plan is. So, and lastly, how does it sound? It sounds like a vintage Strat should. I'm honestly pretty impressed by these pickups. Clean channel on your amp. It's crystal clear, shimmering highs, just beautiful clean stuff. You put a touch of reverb on there and it's what you want a Strat to sound like. And then you throw some distortion at it, or an overdrive pedal, and it cranks out blues, man. It's a fun guitar. It gets pretty rowdy, but it always maintains that top end clarity out of a Strat, and I think that's a characteristic of them that is just, that's what makes a Strat, is you can crank it, but it doesn't get too crazy or anything like that. I mean, you can make it crazy, don't get me wrong, but this one's fits right in the pocket for you doing anything blues and you want to turn your amp up and get some gain going, and it nails it. It gets the job done. So all right, guys, thanks for watching, and if you want to see more, like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully we can get this one out and do a full in-depth review here pretty soon. All right, thanks for tuning in.